do more like walk and talk podcasts?
Well, what I'm learning is that if there's something you want to see in the world, you have to make it happen.
Yeah.
So we'll start. We're walking and we're talking. This is Whistle the Feast. This episode we're joined by Mizha Overn, recent Bethany graduate.
Hello.
And we'll hear more about her adventures. And I think I'm getting into the origin story idea.
Okay.
I ask a lot of people, how did you end up where you are?
Gotcha.
And we'll see where it goes. That's
For
just
sure.
the nature of all of this.
Can I ask, first off, like, what the name means?
Yeah. Whistle the Feast means we're not quite sure. But we took 2.5 hours on an unreleased episode to try to
Jaksyn
find
told
the
me
name. Okay.
Yeah.
Our producer, Jaksyn. We know that feast is a rich concept and a rich term.
Yeah.
We're big fans of the story and the movie Babette's Feast.
I have heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
You must.
Okay.
So we've shared music taste before. It's very much not the kind of chaotic music that you love.
Gotcha.
It's a very slow and quiet kind of thing.
Okay.
But as a metaphor, it's really gorgeous. So Christianity is full of feast imagery.
Yeah.
And that's important. And then, whistle kind of carries a connotation that it's nonverbal,
Joy.
it's joyful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Lydia Kratz loves the structure of put the in there.
Yes.
And suddenly it sounds like it's got an epic boost
Yeah, it really
to
does.
the name. So I like that it's a little bit obscure.
Yeah.
You don't quite know what it is right away.
For sure. But when I saw the post on Instagram, I didn't question it at all. I was like, I know that means something, and I know this is the exact vibe that I'm hoping it's going to be.
Well,
And the glasses, the logo design is incredible. The glasses that are just so intrinsically Mr. J is just so good.
the glasses existed. That was an illustration that I made in 2019.
Oh, no way.
Looking ahead to a men's conference in 2020. Back then we thought 2020 was going to be all about optometry. And we didn't end up using that because
hindsight is 2020.
Yeah, maybe. So that's unused, and I saw potential in it.
Nice.
Yeah, I put together the glasses and drew the ribbon with the Whistle the Feast text. My wife tells me that it's a little bit hard. It's a little illegible, and I agree. It's a little much to look at on a small scale.
I don't think it's an issue. I think it's an artistic choice that if you can look at it for more than just a passive glance, you'll be able to read it.
Well, that's the
But
thing.
I guess marketing
Same as the meaning. It's intentionally a little bit obscure, so that maybe if you know, you know.
Yeah.
No, I don't think my phone gets me into Studio B.
Maybe it's unlocked?
I found that earlier today.
Okay.
We call our listeners readers.
Readers?
The readers. Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Feast readers.
Ooh, feast readers is great.
So for our readers, maybe let's review things that you and I have done together.
I was just thinking about this. I think the first memory I have of meeting you was you did a presentation, I think, for a Mount Olive youth group night, I think.
Huh.
And I had known of you obviously, but I think that was the first time we officially met. And I think I was in 5th or 6th grade maybe.
I think that presentation came up a couple days ago.
No way.
Somebody else mentioned it, and I have no memory of doing this. You ever read Winnie the Pooh?
Yes.
The originals?
I've read like one or two of the like OGs.
The chapters are usually titled Chapter 3, in which Piglet finds, you know?
Yeah.
This is episode blank, in which we hunt a heffalump.
That's also kind of a thing. I haven't thought about heffalumps in a long time.
Yeah.
And then the Heffalumps and Woozles song came up just like a few days ago.
From the Disney version. Thank you.
Thank you,
We
thank
found
you.
the heffalump.
Nice to meet you.
I was gonna say, if we're, are we going to your office?
I think so.
Amazing. Okay, cool. So I'm utterly aware of how many things on me are making sound.
I think I like the environmental noise though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Thank you.
I like this to be just scratched up enough. We'll call it patina.
Patina. I was recently talking about my friends and I in middle school used to play a game where it was like, if a word didn't have its like definition that we all know, what would be a really, really beautiful name? And I think patina would be a really good one.
Like a name for a person?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Patina.
Yeah, I was just thinking it'd be a good pet name.
That would be a good pet name. It's so cool to see all my friends again.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
You're back.
Yeah.
So you live in Chicago.
Yes, I do.
Right.
I'm approaching a year, which is really crazy.
Does that feel...
Unreal.
Yeah? Does it feel homey? Like you're about to head back? Does that feel like going to something familiar?
Not quite. I think given some more time it will. But as of now, I still get pretty homesick. And whenever I get to come back here, it's like, this is my safe space, this is my home. And I get to breathe a little bit because Chicago feels like where I'm running around and doing some cool stuff, but like business and really, really busy. And then every time I get to come back here, it's like, oh, right, I'm like a real human person with a family and with friends. And I can just exist and breathe and eat food and not have to worry about the 3 upcoming auditions and meetings and projects that I have due.
So maybe this is restful.
Yes, very much so.
So you were telling us a little bit about how it feels
Yeah.
to be in Chicago, to be back here on campus at Bethany, and we also have unfinished business on the different things that you and I have done
Yes.
together, projects we've worked on together. I was thinking places in the world we've been.
Yeah. There's quite a few.
There's a couple.
Yeah.
So take your pick.
Okay. Back to origins of us. So you said you don't remember that, like, it came up recently, but you don't remember that,
Yeah,
like...
the Mount Olive presentation.
Yeah. Fabled.
I've been thinking about how influence is wild.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're broadcasting at any time. You don't know how you're affecting people. Right? You were in 5th grade, you say?
I think so.
Ish.
5th or 6th. Like, approaching middle school, if not in middle school.
From my perspective, what I'm doing in a situation like that is, fulfilling an obligation. I'm showing up.
Yeah.
Because I've scheduled.
Yeah. And you're doing your job and you're doing your vocation. You signed up for a thing, and then it's ingrained in at least 2 people's memories.
Right. And one of them is not me. I am not one of them. Okay, let's keep moving.
Yeah. So
Take us someplace.
let's see, what year would that have been? 2015, New Ulm, Minnesota. Mizha is a freshman at Minnesota Valley Lutheran High School and takes my first Mr. J class.
Oh.
Yeah.
Probably fundamentals of art.
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm. And, like, going into it, like, because I feel like I mostly knew you from, like, the general sphere, but, like, I feel like you were tied to the Bladels in like, my, like, young mind.
Yeah, family friends.
Family friends, yeah. So I was really excited to, like, actually have a class with you and, like, get to know you, like, personally. But yeah, so 3 years at MBL, and then you got this really cool job at Bethany Lutheran College when I was a junior, and I had, if you remember, a tough time with the adjustment.
I do remember. You shed tears.
Yeah, there were tears. There were definitely tears.
So your senior year was with the Heffalump that just checked our audio equipment.
Yeah.
Ben Lunston, superstar.
Yeah, and he was amazing, because he is.
I think that's generally true.
Yeah. No, and it was...
He just is amazing.
He really, truly is. And the fact that in such, like, an influential time for me, like, high school is an influential time for anybody, but, like, specifically at MVL, where, like, the only real place that I felt like I was valued or, like, belonged or, like, felt worth in was the art room. And, like, to, in that span of time, have been taught by both you and Ben Lunston, huge. Super influential for me. Yeah.
So let's think about those tears. You were mourning or grieving or something.
Yeah.
But then now your 20/20 hindsight is telling you that was good. You didn't know then that it was good. You thought it was pretty bad.
Yeah. I was thinking about the loss of a mentor, and in a pretty tough time for me, that was a huge deal, yeah. But, like, never in my wildest dreams would I have expected Ben Lunston to be the, I guess, replacement, yeah.
Yeah, you can't imagine.
No.
You can't imagine what God has in store for you.
Absolutely not.
That's an important message, I think.
Yeah, and that has been proven to me time and time again, especially in the last, like, 5 years, I'd say. College was full of those.
Well, let's go to college.
So...
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so freshman through junior year, Mr. J. Senior year with Ben Lunston. Freshman year of college, I get to Bethany and get back with Mr. J. Because the first class I had with you was 3D design, I believe.
3D foundations.
Yes, 3D foundations.
Yes.
Which, honestly, I had no idea what to expect going into it, and that's one of the classes I think about the most post-graduation.
Say more.
Yeah.
Why?
It was working my brain in a way that I had never done before. Like, I'd never experimented with anything three-dimensional. Like, throughout art that I loved so much during high school, everything was either 2D design, graphic design, or just, like, paintings, illustrations, flat. And I had never tried...
And as I recall, you were an award-winning painter.
Yes. Yeah. And still, those two paintings that I won awards for are probably my favorite things I've made, which is really, really crazy that I have a hard time sometimes thinking, like, oh, things that I make are appreciated by other people who are not me. like, wild.
That's tricky.
Yeah. But that was that, like, New Ulm painting contest was, or just art contest was honestly, like, a huge boost of confidence for me that I needed at the time. And I do want to say, nobody, I've never been, like, an award-winning painter, quote-unquote. Like, that's not sort of the part of my, I guess, skill set that I focus a lot of energy into. You are the only person who has referred to me as an award-winning painter, and I don't know if you remember this, but the first time you called me that was like 2 years ago or whatever. I
thought just now was the first time.
No, you had said it before, and it stuck with me.
Wow.
You said it I think it was when I came in I was sitting to be a life study for your painting class. And you had mentioned that to the class, and you said an award-winning painter, and my brain went, that's never been something I've been called before. That's really crazy. And that stuck with me, and I honestly think about it all the time. So the fact that you said it again is kind of blowing my mind.
Yeah, well, right, and I wonder where my memory goes, because there's the second, there's a pattern here of me forgetting things.
That's a recurring pattern in my life as well.
So college. Right, you were talking about 3D foundations, working your brain in a different way.
Yeah, and exploring a new skill set, and going into something where I didn't know what to expect and have my expectations, like, I don't know, blown out of the water. Like, I've realized I enjoy going into things blind and just sort of not knowing what to expect and then just riding the wave along with it. But yeah, I'm trying to think. So we did the chair project of making an iconic, like, American design chair out of paper and glue. And I spent hours on that. But it was, like, so rewarding, and I really like what I had made after.
Was yours the Eames chair?
I genuinely can't remember.
Like plywood,
it was
bent lamination?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a panel for the back and a panel for the seat, and then some, like, curvy plywood.
Yeah,
and
kind of U-shaped legs?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I kept that on my desk for too long.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
Now, was that semester one where we had to stop school because of COVID?
That is absolutely true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And theoretically somehow run a 3D foundations, like a sculpture class via Zoom.
Yeah.
With people at home. Yeah. We were all scrambling to try to figure out.
The way you did that, though, was really, really interesting to me.
Refresh my memory.
Yeah, it was like, because I don't know what was going to be in store for, like, our final project, but what you ended up doing is we had a Trello board where you had given, like, project ideas and color-coded them for, like, really, you can do 1 blue, 2 green, or 3 red, or, like, something like that.
Difficulty levels.
Yeah, exactly.
So you could pick, like, several easy or one really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Shawn made a hurdy-gurdy at home, like, in his garage.
I was going to bring that up. Shout out to Shawn Bjerke. Classic.
That was,
He makes a functional hurdy-gurdy.
Insane. Oh my gosh. I miss him. I hope he's doing well. Shout out, Shawn.
Yeah, and that was, I mean, the whole experience is surreal because, you know, we have a scheduled time to be on Zoom together. And some people are in bed with their cat, and, you know, some people are in their shop, and cameras aren't on, cameras are on, and really, you know, it's too much to ask, right?
That was a really strenuous time.
Yeah.
For everyone, but, like,
I mean, what I know about the way I run studio courses is that culture is everything.
Yes.
In fact, as much as possible, I fade away from instruction so that, like, the room can teach the room. Mm-hmm. If things are going right, you know, students are teaching other students, and there's this sort of emerging camaraderie. Mm-hmm. You just can't do that every couple days on a camera.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, theoretically, maybe, but I'm so glad we're back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but that's not everything.
Yeah.
Because in college you do other things.
Yes. First and foremost, my brain is in theater. My heart is in theater. And
we have high school theater experience.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
I told my father-in-law yesterday that I'm going to interview you.
Yeah.
And he said, I still remember when she was drunk.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
What was your character's name?
I was Diana Barry in Anne of Green Gables, which that show was a formative time for, I think, the whole cast.
That was a classic
experience. A really, really good experience. And then there's the scene where Anne gives her friend raspberry cordial that she doesn't know is alcoholic, and Diana drinks a lot of it, and it tastes real good.
Not the last time you appear intoxicated.
I was just gonna say,
so
kind of a running theme happened 4 years later. I think?
Let's go to that. Jump to Bethany intoxicated.
Yeah.
These will be the sound bites.
So, jump to Bethany. When full in on theater, like that was the focus. I was lucky enough to be in 3 productions a year out of the 4. The one not being theater physics, because you could be in theater physics or the fall play.
You're saying every year you were in 3 out of 4 productions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Which is something that I'm now learning a lot of my peers don't have, because they're all BFA conservatory students where the opportunities aren't as frequent. So that's kind of an eye-opening thing. But yeah, so intoxication was spring of my junior year, where we did the musical comedy Murders of 1940. And I got to team up with Joseph Ramhelt, and we tag teamed. Our characters were like a musical theater lyricist and composer duo, and my character was Bernice Roth, and she just gets progressively drunk throughout the entire show, as they are afraid that that there's a murderer amongst them, and she gets scared, so she drinks. And that was...
This is how she copes.
This is how she copes, as so many of us do. That's a joke, for the record. That was a joke.
She's about to take a swig of water. Of water.
Or is it?
Dry campus. So, how about some other highlights from dramatic productions at Bethany?
The first show I was in at Bethany was The Spiritual Tragedy of Dr. Faustus, directed by Benji Eneker. And that was, if I'm being completely honest, I love every production I was in at Bethany, but that one's my favorite. It was the first one.
Faustus.
Yeah, and it was as like a little theater rat who like yearned to be taken seriously as an 18-year-old. It was my first like dramatic show. It was my first classical show, and I got to play like a demon of Faustus's conscience, and I got to do fight choreography. I got to speak in verse. Like,
you had sweet wings.
Yeah, I had really, really cool
Costume
wings
was
made
amazing.
by Kaitlin. Lange.
Yes.
Oh, shout out to her. Those are the coolest things ever. They were made out of foam, so they kind of like floated when you moved. Oh my gosh, they were amazing.
She's an art teacher at Luther Prep now.
Oh, I knew that. I didn't know that. Oh, she's so cool. But yeah, it like reignited the fire that I knew was already there. Of like, oh yeah, this is what I want to do. Like, because at MBL, all of our productions up until the last year were usually written by our biology teacher. And I wanted just like to do the classics. I really wanted to do the classics. And so to have my first collegiate production be like a Christopher Marlowe tale of like legend. Like I had heard of Faustus before and the whole like selling your soul to the devil for power and influence and magic and all that. Like it just felt like this is what I knew theater could be, and I'm finally a part of it, and I want to do nothing but
it was
this.
satisfying a craving, like
Yes.
it's just very, very right for you.
Very much so.
Okay.
Yeah, then we did Annie Get Your Gun, and then we were getting ready to do Treasure Island, and I was so excited, and COVID happened. Because the people here at Bethany, and specifically the YFAC, are the most hardworking, artisanally minded, inspiring people. They said, we're not going to let that keep us down. We're getting right back on the horse and we're doing theater again. So the next fall, we did Ricky Tikki Tavi. And that was also an incredible experience. It was my first time with puppetry. It was my first time in a lead role, technically. And the costumes were phenomenal. The props were amazing. And that show specifically is like, goes to show that even though Bethany Theater creates these magical, like, detailed, intricate worlds, a la set design and costuming, this was because it was still a COVID year. We were all masked up. The set was 3 platforms and some wispy grass and the cyclorama with like a lovely little color gradient, and that was our world, and we created a life there. We created a story there, and
everybody knows every time. Everybody knows it's make believe.
Yeah.
Right. So it's still make believe.
Yeah.
I like the hope that you're seeing in that production.
Absolutely. Like, the fact that we were able to do theater at all is crazy, is wild, is on some other campuses maybe unheard of, but the dedication to the craft that the faculty displays time and time again, constantly and incredibly, extraordinarily.
It is hard to understand.
They create magic when the world is burning.
Right. Yes.
And that...
Isn't that true?
That's... and now being someone...
There's a soundbite.
Yeah. And now being someone who is in theater professionally, which is crazy, I am realizing how extraordinarily rare the theater department here at Bethany is.
And when we say department, we mean humans, individuals.
Yes. The theater department being like 4 people, 4 intrinsic, like, soldiers, and then rallying the rest of the YFAC to create extra beauties. These people are astonishing.
And isn't that true across campus? That there's just a few in every department, and somehow people make something special happen around here.
And yeah, when I was in high school, I desperately wanted to go to a big school with a musical theater BFA, where I could, and that the craving is the right word, because connotations of that, I mean, when you're craving something, you don't necessarily know or worry about whether that's what you need. It's what you want desperately.
Like potato chips.
Exactly. And I wanted the potato chips of a BFA program more than anything.
I did too. when I think back to being a high schooler,
Yeah?
I got all these catalogs from big art schools around the country, and that was the dream that they sold me. You're going to live in a bohemian warehouse and be just mopey enough and make big artworks that are, you know, a little bit edgy, and you're going to live the dream, and you're going to seek galleries, and you're going to be urban and cool. So I think we've got a parallel experience there. Absolutely. So say more now about the contrast, or maybe not getting what you craved.
Yeah, because I auditioned for, I think, 2 schools my senior year of high school. Didn't get into either. My parents sat me down and they're like, okay, for the sake of your own future debt, we're putting our foot down. You have to go to Bethany for at least the first 2 years. But if you want to transfer out, we will fully support that after your sophomore year. And yeah, my sophomore year rolled around, and I auditioned for like 3 different schools around the country, one in New York, one in Illinois, and one in California, maybe? It's a blur. But again, didn't get into those schools. And I was finding purpose enough at Bethany that when I didn't get into those schools, I was like, okay, God wants me here. Time to make the most of it here. And I'm honestly proud to say that I did. I kind of burned the candle at all ends and maybe wasn't the most healthy or kind to myself at sometimes, but I fit as much creatively fulfilling work into my time here at Bethany as I possibly could. And I'm proud of that.
Bethany's proud of you.
That's really, really nice to hear.
Yeah. You know, what you said earlier about being an award-winning painter, but not really knowing that about yourself, or not allowing yourself to think that, I think that's a really, there's something there that I want to talk about. That you never really, really know how you are perceived or how you measure up. And when you're making something in any medium, you really put yourself out there, and you're vulnerable, and you hope that somebody likes it, but you don't know if you're any good.
Yeah.
You never know if you're any good. When you don't get accepted to schools, right? That's you told a story from your senior year of high school and then from your sophomore year of college where you tried and they said no. I think that's in the same category as getting an award for a painting, where somebody from outside of you gives you some feedback, and then you have to think about how much weight do you put in to the value of that feedback. I try to tell students, when you win, don't think too much about it. When you lose, don't think too much about it. But you should enter all these things. You should try things, because it's not really about the award. It's about the threshold that you have to cross, the courage that it takes to give it a shot. Because maybe you'll hear something you don't like, but maybe you'll hear something you like. And also, you know, the feedback is the most valuable thing, if you get any. Now, that's all staging. You know, I say all that to talk about Chicago.
For sure.
Because word on the street is there are 3 award-winning shows in Chicago, and the only common denominator is you.
That's very kind.
It's a very big street.
Knock on wood, will be award-winning, award-nominated currently.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
that's a different message from applying to schools and like, no thanks.
And yeah, and that really, man, that was, I think about the headspace I was in end of high school, beginning of college, is just that craving we were talking about. I wanted the chance to like prove myself desperately. And when God said, I'm not opening that door for you, you're going to stay here. And I learned so much and grew so much as a person that by the time senior year rolls around, so my advisor was Benji Iniger, who we were talking about earlier. His gallery is phenomenal. And we were talking about like what I wanted to do for capstone. And because at the time it was like you can either do a capstone project or like an internship. And when I was talking to him, I think end of my junior year or like beginning of my senior year, I was telling him my ideas for potential projects, and he just was like, oh, I just would have assumed you would have wanted to do like an apprenticeship, an internship. And I was like, they do that for acting? And he said, yeah, dude. Yeah, they do. And I said, tell me more right now, please. And so the one he first told me about was the Milwaukee Repertory Theater's Emerging Professional Residency Program. And that was one example. And then he told me there was the Actors Theater in Louisville, Kentucky, that does an apprenticeship program. Did an apprenticeship program. What I found out during my search for places to apply to was that COVID shut down probably like 75 to 80% of like acting apprenticeships around the country. So it was a lot of, I think I was emailing different theaters that Benji told me had an apprenticeship, and then from one of them, they sent me like a spreadsheet of, I don't know why or how they had it, but all of the theaters around the country that potentially would have an apprenticeship.
Wow.
So I went down that spreadsheet and I emailed probably like 40 different places. And most of them were like, sorry, we don't have it anymore, COVID shut it down. But I think there were three or four that I ended up submitting to. The Milwaukee Rep, the Children's Theater in Minneapolis. There was one in Cincinnati, I believe, and then one, I think, on the East Coast somewhere, and I can't remember. But yeah, so a lot of my senior year was working on those audition packages. It was cover letters, it was vocal reels, it was monologues, dialogues, anything I could submit to there. And flash forward to my interview for the Milwaukee program, the Milwaukee Repertory Theater program. I was on choir tour summer after graduation, and the time that only worked for my phone interview was while I was on the bus with everyone in the Bethany choir.
Sure.
And Anne Fredrickson being like my hero and absolute love of my life, she was like, everybody quiet, Mizha has an interview. And so the bus was very peaceful for about 45 minutes, I want to say.
Wow.
And I had to work with a spotty internet service, but ended up having a really good interview. I thought it went very well. And then a few weeks later, I got an email from the guy who interviewed me. His name is Jeff Moser. I adore him. And the results were, unfortunately, we can't offer you a spot in our program. Which was very, very sad. I mean, I was sad. That was my top choice out of the 4 I applied to. And at that point, the one I had gotten farthest in consideration when the other ones had already turned me down. And so my plans changed. I went from, okay, so I guess I'm not doing an apprenticeship. I guess I'm just gonna audition for a bunch of stuff in the Twin Cities and move up there and see what happens. And I did. I auditioned for a bunch of stuff. I got offered roles in 2 different shows, which is incredibly lucky. Feels like an icky word that I'm tempted to use because I lean towards self-deprecation. I was fortunate enough to get offered roles in the Twin Cities. After I had accepted a contract from the Artistry Theater in Bloomington, I got a call from Jeff Moser from the Milwaukee Rep. And he said, "Hey, do you have a minute to talk?" And I said, I was currently at a restaurant, and I was like, "Sure, yeah, I can talk." He said one of the members of the cohort that they had offered to had opted for a different contract, and I was their alternate. So he asked me if I was still interested in being a part of their program, and I had already had things lined up at the city.
So you went from no, nothing to now 3 possible.
Yes, exactly. And I just said, like, can I have like a day to think about it? And he said, yes, but we can't give you more than like a few days. And I said, okay, that's all right. And after a lot of really hard deliberation, because I had made plans that people were excited about, I knew that the right choice was to go to Milwaukee. And the people that I asked for advice, Benji, my parents, I think you, and like I talked to everybody.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it.
Yeah, and the right move was Milwaukee, and I went, and that was probably the most game-changing professional moment for me.
How do you know?
Because if I wouldn't have gone there, I wouldn't be in Chicago currently. Because I went there and had the most wonderful time, wonderful experiences, proved to myself that I could do what I've always wanted to do, and got feedback, the important feedback from professionals that I respected, that I am on the right path, that I should be pursuing this. And multiple of those professionals told me, girl, you got to be in Chicago. Chicago is where you take those next steps. If you, one of the people I met, his name is Alex Weisman. I adore him. He is a phenomenal actor and celebrated actor in New York. He had a recurring character on Sesame Street. Like, he's so cool. And he said, we were talking, and he just very bluntly put it, do you want to be on Broadway? And I said, yes, I do. And he goes, then you go to Chicago and you get an agent that has connections in New York. And that was kind of it.
You need that information.
Yeah, and I had never received that information ever. I've never been in a place to meet people who would have that information to give me.
Sure.
So while I was in Milwaukee, I found a website that's Theater in Chicago. I still use it all the time, and it's where mostly storefront theaters put their audition listings. And I auditioned for a production of A Little Night Music and a production of Alice by Heart, and was fortunate enough to get cast in both of them. So I had accepted both of those by, I think, January of, that would have been 2024. And so I was in Milwaukee, and I said, okay, I guess I'm moving to Chicago. My apprenticeship ended. I had about a month at home, and then beginning of April, I moved in with some family friends in Evanston, and I've been in Chicago. And I have learned that's unusual. I've learned that it's rare to move into the city with contracts lined up, much less 2. I went directly from A Little Night Music to Alice by Heart. They overlapped for about 2 weeks, where I was doing rehearsals in the day for Alice and then performances for A Little Night Music at night. And it was exhausting, it was exhilarating, it was wonderful, and something I'd always dreamed of. And it sort of was just like, okay, this is my life now. It kind of happened really, really fast in the grand scheme of things, but this is my life. And then during those shows, I was auditioning for other shows and got a 3rd contract for a production of Secret Garden. And people who I met, who are now lovely friends, kind of sat me down and they were like, I don't know if you know how unusual this is to have 3 contracts your first year of being in the city. Sometimes people are here for years and don't hear anything. And I think I needed to hear that.
Because you don't know.
Yes. no idea.
Everything's new. You don't know what's normal.
Exactly. My first time being a professional actor ever.
Yeah. And you don't know how people see you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Have you experienced any sort of competitive vibe?
No.
No.
Which is incredible because for years, like as long as I can remember, people always told me if you're going into theater, you got to be ready for petty people, for cutthroat people.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not met a single person who I would describe as mean. In fact, most of the people I've met, I would describe as overly kind, encouraging, and excited for others to succeed.
I have a theory. The theory is that maybe people mirror other people in any situation. So you might be meeting people like that because that's what you're giving off.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I really hope so.
Try that.
Yeah.
Because influence is wild, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the crazy thing that I think we all have to remember, that we actually play a part in our environment.
Mm-hmm.
So Chicago's brightening because of you.
That's very kind. That's very good to hear. That's
well,
very nice to hear.
I don't tell lies.
Yeah. So it's been kind of a whirlwind, and I haven't really had time to do anything but work.
Yeah.
But that's the beginning of anybody's career, I feel like, especially if you're trying to be an artist, an independent artist.
Mm-hmm. Crazy amounts of hustle.
Yeah. I think at one point I had from November to December, I think I had 5 jobs, 5 part-time jobs. May I keep expanding on my Chicago experience?
Let's go.
Okay. So, in Milwaukee, mentor Alex Weisman, previously mentioned, and co-mentor Amanda Drinkle, they were both represented by Gray Talent Group, which is a company based in Chicago, but they have representation in LA and New York as well. Talking to them, and during my Milwaukee program, we brought in the CEO of Gray Talent Group to talk to our cohort about agencies, specifically theirs, but also in general, just what to expect when you're looking for an agent. Like when to get one, all of the above. And between the two, I knew I wanted to apply to Gray Talent Group, and that had been on my radar for a long time. But with sort of jumping directly from Milwaukee to Chicago and then being in 2 shows at once and auditioning for things the whole time, I just hadn't gone around to it. And my mom would text me probably like every other week, like, did you submit to Gray yet? Did you audition? Did you email them yet? And I'm like, no, I'm so busy and tired. I haven't, but I'm going to. Don't worry, I'm going to. She's like, okay, well, I think you should get on that. I'm like, I know. So during performances for Alice by Heart, they were filling my cup artistically, mentally, emotionally. I loved it so much. Randomly, one day I was having kind of like a little mini breakdown, as we so often do, and I was homesick. I was missing my friends and my family, and I was just thinking, I was like, did I even make the right choice being here when I could have had everything that I did in Minnesota? And then I journaled about it, which I don't usually journal, but I'm trying to because I know it's good for me. And then I journaled about it, prayed about it, went on a walk. On that walk, I got an email from someone at Gray saying, we saw you in Alice by Heart. We were really impressed. Are you looking for representation at the moment? And I freaked out. I was like...
You didn't have to apply. They came to you.
Exactly. I freaked out. I immediately called my mom when I got home, and I was like, you'll never guess what just happened. And then I responded to them and was like, I actually am. I've been interested in your company specifically. Like, what do you need from me next? Would you like me to follow the next steps from your website? And they said no. And I get so giddy about it because they're like, no, since technically you would be scouted talent, you would skip to our second round of auditions. And I was like, freaked out immediately. But yeah, went through their second rounds of auditions, went through their interview process, and like the day after my interview, they offered me a spot with them. So I'm now a represented professional actor.
So what does that mean?
So they work collaboratively as a team. So I don't have like one agent. I kind of have the whole team. And so they have people for theater in Chicago, theater around the country, film in Chicago, film around the country, and like voice acting. And between all of them, they will like submit your headshot and resume to any projects they receive that they think you're right for. And then if you get an audition request from them, that means like they saw your headshot, they saw your resume, they like you, and then they will bring opportunities to me that I never would have had access to myself. So it's a very lovely partnership that, yeah, just opens more doors. And they get paid when you get paid. Yes, yeah. They
Right.
take a cut.
That's the agreement.
When I get paid. But other than that, no money is exchanged. I didn't have to pay like an upfront fee. I don't have to pay a monthly fee.
Sure.
It's just if they help me book something, they get a cut.
They're interested in your success.
Yeah. And again,
and they know things. They know the opportunities, they know the business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They have that knowledge that I don't and have never had up to this point. So it's a lovely learning experience, and their knowledge is so beneficial to me, and I like greatly appreciate it. So that happened in the summer. I did my Secret Garden contract from September to January. During that period of time, I was auditioning for What's Next, because the whole like actual job of being an actor is constantly searching for what the next project is. Whenever you're in a project, you're like, okay, this is lovely, this is where my heart is, like you work towards this goal, but while you're performing, you're okay, what's next? What can I audition for the next like time slot?
I once heard Dustin Hoffman in an interview. You know, he's deep into his career. He's like in his 60s when he's saying this. He says, every time I have a movie, I'm afraid it's my last. I think this might be the last time. It's just interesting that, like, you never quite make it. You're never comfortable. You're always looking ahead, trying to make sure it doesn't stop.
Yeah, which, as equally as it is scary, it's exciting. Because as someone with very strong ADHD, it's so nice to be like, there's always something new and exciting to look forward to.
This is built for you.
Yeah, no, it kind of is crazy where like I think of my skill sets, and it kind of perfectly aligns with life in theater. Like, just growing up, my brother and I would always, like, just memorize movies. We'd memorize TV shows and just would, like, recite them to each other, basically.
Yeah.
And now I'm able to, like, my agent will send me, like, 2 pages of dialogue, and will be like, memorize this and record it and send it back to us in a week. And it's like, I'm able to do that. Like, that's my brain is wired in a way where that is feasible for me, which is like another sense of like, oh, I'm like kind of built for this. Like,
I think you are.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
It's really interesting. It's interesting.
And for our readers, I think I would want you to consider, all of us should consider, the kinds of things that we've been preparing for, whether we know it or not. The kinds of things that God has been preparing us for. And, different people might have different opinions about the value of the things that we can do. We don't always get the feedback we need, or we don't always have, we're not always sure if it's a good thing that we're good at, but you got to pay attention to those strengths, those things that come naturally to you.
Yeah.
Because that might be your vocation. There might be something that's made just for your set.
And that's sort of touching on something I did want to talk to you about in this and just talk to you about in general. Not necessarily for the podcast, but I mean, might as well be vulnerable for our readers. I get really, especially, I mean, I've always sort of had doubts of because my passion is theater, my passion is art. I love performing, but the value of that, or the lack thereof, has kind of haunted me. Like,
yeah,
it feels like this is my skill set, I'm built for this, but at the same time, does the world need this from me? Like, I see my friends creating life, having children, going to med school, doing things that truly, truly make the world a better place. And I was just talking to some friends I haven't seen in a very long time who recently had a baby, and they were explaining to me what the birth process was like and what being parents is like, and then they were like, "Oh, so what are you up to recently?" And I said, "I have an improv show coming up. I'm doing comedy, I guess." And it's hard for me to not be like, are there more...
It doesn't feel like it matches the profundity of causing life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, okay, we don't believe in coincidences. Somehow my feed fed me this poem a couple days ago, and it occurred to me as I was thinking about talking with you that this is made for you, this poem, okay? And you've just fed right into this moment. Like,
crazy.
You're going to understand this. It's by Marianne Williamson, called Our Deepest Fear. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we're liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So we don't believe in coincidences, my goodness. I read that and I will.
Thank you.
I thought, yep, there's Mizha. Where is that line? Your playing small does not serve the world.
I want that embroidered on a pillow that I can look at every day.
Yeah, Yeah, we need reminders. And this topic is difficult for a Christian artist. I've been wrestling with it, and I try to teach students how to wrestle with how to think of yourself as a Christian and how to think of yourself as an artist simultaneously. There is a Venn diagram, but it's unfamiliar territory. So service is a helpful thought here, that if you're good at something, or if God gives you some kind of a talent, the responsible thing to do is to make it grow. And see what it can be. because that's the venue through which you can be of service. Now, it might be a different venue than somebody else, right? And that comparison can be really difficult. We think about the value of different vocations, and that's actually not appropriate. You know, it's a little judgy.
Yeah.
Actually, and Martin Luther knew that. You know, he was working that when he was ennobling peasants, ennobling different vocations, and breaking down hierarchies. So, I imagine going into theater as a Lutheran is a confusing place to be, and probably a lonely place to be.
Yeah.
It's lonely enough to be a sculptor, right? But theater is sort of in this realm, like television or movies, that sometimes gets actively preached against from the pulpit.
Yeah.
You know?
Very much so.
Like, this is the conduit of evil in our culture, that, you know, we have to watch out, shield our children from this kind of thing. Or things like the medium is not the message, or like the assumptions that you were told about competitive sort of scrappiness.
Yeah.
Well, the crazy thing is, the thing that I'm coming to grips with is that, well, when you're like the first down that road, or you're sort of like in unfamiliar territory, it actually falls to you to be influential, both in that field and also back at home. So you can tell people what you found out in the frontier. You know, tell people back home, and be of service there, and then be great, shine. You know.
We're certainly trying.
Well, yeah, of course. Another topic is, why do you think, is there any way to put into words why this persists for you?
What persists?
You're pretty sure that this is the right thing, right? And you've known that for a while. You've felt it, you've chased it, you've expended inefficient amounts of energy at getting to where you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's that drive? What is it? That's a lot.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because this is something I've known I wanted to do since definitely, like, officially middle school. But, like, my mom found a little thing that I made in, like, first grade, I think, where it was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I wrote, I want to be a singer. And I drew myself in front of the red Bethany theater curtains. And that was first grade, yeah. I was actually recently thinking about this too. It just feels like a part of me that I don't know where it comes from, but it's always been there, and it's always been what has made me feel the most. I'm trying to say something that's not cliche.
Start with cliche and then modify it.
Yeah. The most alive. Like, when I think about what happy people feel. A sense of purpose, a sense of accomplishment, a sense of serving others, worthiness. I don't know if I already said that. I feel the strongest when I'm performing. And it's been that way since forever. And I don't really know why. And psychologically, I'm sure there's a lot of deep diving you can do, healthy or otherwise. But storytelling specifically has always been such an integral part of my interest in it. And that's something that I've been thinking a lot about. I don't know, it's such a human pastime. It has been since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
But we're talking about you.
Yeah.
You know, like this invisible thing that keeps, there's something unseen that's guiding your behavior. Right?
Yeah.
The invisible is guiding the visible.
Yeah.
Somehow. Well, it's maybe not knowable. Right?
Yeah.
Where does this come from?
It's the love of music, the love of performing, but yeah, where that love comes from.
No, I don't think that's the love of it is probably more common than the chasing of it. So I want to just comment that there's something, there's a few factors here. One is you're really fascinated by this stuff. That's a factor. Another is it turns out you're good at it. And like you're not really able to acknowledge that right now, but I know that there is something like a ringing bell when you're on stage that's just like, whoa, yep, this one's supposed to be doing this thing. And then there's like those things can be true, but then there's another factor, and that's guts. Like the courage to actually think that it's possible and to fight through no, to fight through being told no, to persist when you're not getting the affirmation that you desire. All of those things, right? The fascination, the talent, and the persistence coalesce into, here she goes. Here she goes.
And yeah, it's interesting. I actually was thinking about this recently where it feels arrogant to say, but it feels like I've found my calling. Like it feels like I'm meant to do this. And
I think that's true.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that's, I feel like, maybe where the drive comes from. Where it's just, I feel like for some reason this is the path that God wants me to be on. And then combine that with my love of it.
That's not a new feeling.
It's been recently reaffirmed, but I've had that feeling since childhood.
Sure.
But I don't know, it feels like I'm meant for something down this path, and I don't know what it is, but I'm excited to find out.
Yeah.
But again, maybe this is a little backtracking, but like it feels arrogant to say that. It feels like I shouldn't say that.
That's why I read you the poem. Because this is that difficulty of being a Christian and being an artist. So so it's a checkpoint, right? Internally, you need to achieve this checkpoint where you can allow yourself to think that you're good at this. Not as an end in itself, right? Not for your glory, but because it allows you to be of greater service.
Mm-hmm. And recently, yeah, like thinking about that, thinking about the comparison game that I know is detrimental, but like what I feel like the only thing I can do and try to do and be of service to God at this point is just to be a physical manifestation of God's love in a secular field.
Mm-hmm.
And preaching is not something I'm seeing myself doing. Preaching is not something I feel like is beneficial at my point in my career and at this time and with the people around me. Like, they don't need me to evangelize, but I don't know. I'm thinking of, why am I in this position? Why does God want me here? And at this moment in time, the only thing I can think of is to prove that Christians can be kind, and to prove that Christians can be loving, and to prove that Christians are not hateful, judgmental, condemning people. Because a lot of the people I've met, theater or otherwise, throughout life have had major traumas with the church.
Sure.
And I feel like the only thing that I can do at the moment and that I'm equipped to do is to say, like, hey, I'm so devastatingly sorry that happened to you, but that is not a reflection of God. That is not a reflection of Christianity, or it shouldn't be.
You can provide a first-hand experience, something that's outside of another experience or outside of like an invented story.
Yeah.
Because that happens so easily,
Mm-hmm.
where people build a story.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know, I'm doing my best at that, and because the people that I've been so lucky to meet are some of the most wonderfully kind, open, empathetic people I've met in my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And the sort of, what you're saying, preaching against the like media of theater, preaching against the medium of theater, like there's a sort of blindness coming from both sides, I think, because some people think of Christianity and they have a really bad taste in their mouth, and some Christians hear theater and they have a really bad taste in their mouth, but they're both making assumptions on a culture that they have no experience with. And I guess I would love to help bring understanding on both sides.
Yeah. I have a similar experience just having studied art.
Yeah.
And, well, when I came back to MVL, teaching high school at MVL, I had culture shock coming from Mankato State University back to kind of the parochial bubble of MVL, and just it took me a while to remember how we think.
Yeah.
And since then, I've been working at the bridge building that you're discovering, or seeing the potential for. And it does mean that both sides need to be educated about each other, and that becomes a lonely place to be, because you might be the only one who's standing in the middle, standing in between. You might be the only one who understands both sides and sympathizes with both sides.
Yeah.
So when that gets heavy, call me. because that's...
I will. I will take you up on that. Because even politically, especially politically, the environments that I'm in here and there are extraordinarily different. And without going too much into it, it is that same thing of I see both sides and I empathize with both sides.
And I generally think both sides get carried away.
Yeah. People
Right.
have a tendency to get carried away no matter what.
But firsthand experience changes everything, right? A lot of times the extremes, I think, are fantasy-based. They're inventing a reality. But then when you actually meet a person, you know, and you have real reality in front of you, it's more complicated than you can imagine.
Yeah. Seeing things in black and white is the easy way out. To see how complicated everything is takes real effort. And I think a lot of people, whether intentionally or not, don't believe they have the time to explore the shades of gray.
Yeah. Yeah. The best example I have of that is when I teach students how to paint. And let's say paint a landscape as a good example, a convenient example. It's occurred to me that when you're inventing a scene, you have to burn calories in order to make it complex enough to convince you, to be convincing. You need to insert detail after detail after detail. And something about it remains unconvincing, no matter how much you put into it. Because we can always tell, like, that grass is too stampy, too perfect, and your leaves are just like... You try and you try and you try, and you're trying to fool us into thinking it's real. Okay, so that's one side. And that's invention. We can call that a fantasy. The other way is look at a scene. The ultimate is plein air, to be out looking at nature and trying, you put your energy into simplifying because there is so much in front of you. There's infinity in front of you and you can't even begin to handle it. There's so much. Yeah. So you're trying to just like, you're trying to cope.
I've been listening to a lot of Florence and the Machine lately, and there's one line where it's like, sometimes, and I can't remember exactly, but like, there's so much beauty in the world, I don't think I can cope.
Oh, that's pretty much it. That's what I just said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. If you're really there, right, and if you're appreciating. Mizha, what's left to say?
My current project?
Let's talk about it.
I recently got into a fellowship with Second City in Chicago.
What?
Which is really cool.
Say more.
So
tell us about Second City. Make sure our readers understand.
Yeah, so Second City is one of the biggest comedy houses in the country. And it's where, like, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Steve Carell, Bill Murray, Tim Robinson, my personal favorite, like, a lot of big names, my favorite comedians that I grew up watching.
For my dad, Dan Aykroyd,
yes.
Jim Belushi.
John Candy.
John Candy. Okay, right,
Yeah.
these are your peers. Say more.
I guess.
So what's the deal? What's your role?
So I am a part of the 3rd ever Victor Wong Fellowship, which is an all-Asian fellowship for Asian comedians and Asian actors. And we get tuition-free classes twice a week from February till the end of April. And then in March for AAPI month, we get to show our showcase every Tuesday at Second City, which will include sketches that we write and potentially songs that we write. I think we're working on a song, or a couple of us are. Yeah, and then we have an archive show coming up in March. We are able to pull out some old sketches from Second City history. Like, currently we have a couple in our show with A.D. Bryant from SNL, from Tim Baltz, from various podcasts, and Righteous Gemstones. He's one of my favorites. And we get to, I don't know, put our version of that into the world. And then in April, we have an improv show, and then our showcases in May. And that was something that this was kind of a curveball. It was something that, like, my brother's always been really big into improv and comedy and stand-up, and that's never, like, I've enjoyed it, but it's never really been my, like, jam exactly. But my agency sent me the, like, audition notice for Victor Wong, and they were like, hey, this is a showcase opportunity, classes, do you want to give it a shot? And for the audition, we had to write a 1-minute comedic piece, and I wrote, like, a character based on a face that the Bladels would make a lot growing up, called the Botox face, that we would do growing up all the time. And I came up with, like, a little character that's, like, the head of HR at Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop company, like, introducing the company to, like, a bunch of new, like, college interns. And, like, I wrote it, I was, like, so stressed about, like, I don't know what to bring. And, like, 2 nights before, I think, I just sat down and wrote this, and Ian helped me iron it out a little bit.
Your secret weapon.
Yes. Ian has always been my secret weapon. My brother Ian, for our readers at home. And first round of auditions, we did our piece, and then we did a bunch of improv together, and I have extraordinarily little experience in improv, but, like, I enjoy improvising when it comes up, like, on stage. If things go wrong, you have to know how to improvise, and that.
This is another case where I feel like you're uniquely prepared.
Thank you. It does feel like, for someone who has never taken improv classes, who's never taken comedy classes, like, growing up, we watched a lot of comedy, and it's my brother and I constantly just do bits, so it's like weirdly.
I get the sense that the two of you together are completely bonkers.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. And that's because I think you think fast.
Yeah. I yeah.
Both of you.
Mm-hmm.
You're incredibly intelligent.
Thank
it's
you.
okay. Yes. You know, you can accept that, and I know that about your brother too, and you know, your parents. You have good stock. So I've always admired comedians, especially improv, because man, do they have to think.
It's crazy.
And then deliver.
Yeah.
Right?
And my little experience with improv, I was in my first improv show that was improvised Scooby-Doo back in like September and October. That was my first experience with improv ever. It was fun, but it was like, yeah, it was the first like real experience of like, oh, this is like, this is hard to do well. This is very hard to do well. And it makes it, when you see it done well, so much more impressive. So I'm like, I have this new appreciation for improv especially, but like comedy in general, because it's so easy to be done poorly and for it to kind of fall flat. But when done well, it feels pretty magical. It's weird.
I suppose it's related to jazz.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
You need to be very, very present as a performer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we did our last class for Victor Wong on Thursday was all about that. We did a like 3-hour workshop of the Meisner technique of acting, which is all about being present in the current moment and allowing yourself to experience emotional reality through your character. Through whatever character you are, whatever the character is feeling, you are allowing yourself to feel yourself. And through that, you get a more grounded, realistic performance is sort of the...
So maybe that could be termed in, we could say that in terms of loyalty. Your loyalty is to the moment, not to the script.
Yes. Yeah. And the practice leading up to the moment is putting the script in your body.
Sure.
So that when the moment comes, you don't have to think about it at all. That's already in you, and you just get to live.
You can afford
Yes.
to be present.
Yeah. And that was an incredible experience in and of itself, just to have like a 3-hour Meisner workshop. Never had that before.
Hello.
Like, it was really cool. Like, the instructor we had was incredible. Her name is Mia Park, and she's part of the Second City staff, and she like asked everyone like, who has had formal acting training? And I raised my hand, and she goes, okay, so who's ever done Meisner before? And I did not raise my hand. And she goes, you got an acting degree and you have never done Meisner? And I was like, well, I got a theater degree and I got a BA, and because she said BFA, and I was like, specifically, nope. And then she goes, but here you are. And I said, yes, here I am. And that's kind of been a like inner child healing recurring experience.
Is it possible that you just didn't know the name?
Of the technique?
Meisner?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that, like, I don't know,
It seems familiar.
Yes.
As a stance, a way of thinking.
Yeah, and it's like, we learned about it in class. So, like, I've been familiar with it, and been familiar of it as a method of acting. I've just never had, like, the label of it formally taught to me firsthand, you know?
I want to ask you a question that is on the minds of all of our readers. What's it like being on stage? What's the first-hand experience? Put us inside of that moment.
The first thing is when you hear the crowd get quiet and the lights go down, and then your heart starts beating faster, and then you take a deep breath and you launch in, and it's, I don't know, it's like nothing else I've experienced. It's, you get...
Are you there? Are you aware?
Yes. And again, this is probably different for everybody, but it's, you enter in that sort of like flow state that any vocation provides of pure focus, and allowing yourself to be like moved with whatever is happening in the current moment. I'm trying to think of like...
Does it feel like childhood?
Yes. When the closest I felt to like, I feel like I did something right on stage is when I feel exactly the way I did when I was a little kid and playing pretend. Where I'm able, like when I was little, I would be able to like, we would play, I don't know, like we're a traveling group in the woods, and I would imagine that we're being like chased by bad guys, and I would feel scared, and I would like basically trick myself into believing that's the situation that I'm in, and it was the reality of the situation.
We call that the Meisner technique.
And that's kind of Meisner. I guess that's kind of Meisner. And like there was like a moment, I think it was during Alice by Heart, where after the show I was like, that felt like playing pretend and tricking myself into, that felt like reality. And I don't know, that feeling and is exhilarating. It makes you want it again. It's addicting. It's, and recently a friend was talking to me, and we were talking about confidence And he said, you never create, when you're older, you don't work on like creating new confidence. You're just working on getting back the confidence you had as a child. Like when you're a kid, you don't doubt yourself, you have no inhibitions, you present yourself to the world fully as you are. And then as you grow up, you get more self-conscious and you lose a little bit of that confidence. And then, I guess like as an adult, your goal is to gain back that confidence that you had when you were a kid. And for me, the most like vivid, tactile experience of that is when I'm performing and I feel like I'm a kid again playing pretend, and my reality is the pretend world that I'm putting myself in. And it doesn't, for me, I think I've only had that experience performing once, maybe twice. And it makes me want to learn how to get there more.
Flow state.
Flow state.
Yeah. So the factors of flow state include how good are you at the skill and how difficult is the skill. And you can work on those sliders.
Yeah.
You know? The better you get at it, the easier it is to get into flow state. And then at some point you can overshoot it and you're too good at it and then you get bored.
Yeah.
And then you need to ramp up challenge. You need more challenge. Yeah. So it might be after all these years, you're finally like arriving at the craft that you've been working so hard at. Jazz again, like Miles Davis just incessantly playing and playing and playing and playing his whole life, and then he's able to just like transcend. You might be starting. You might be just starting.
I would love that. And every experience that I get and opportunity that God gives me, I'm learning more, and I don't know, getting closer to that ability to transcend, I guess.
You know, one of the most powerful things that my mentor Bill Bukowski said, I don't know if it was to me or to the room in a class, he suggested, what if you're the next master?
But doesn't that feel...
You can choose, right? What do you do with that? Right? Chances are you're not, right? I mean, you can accept that path quickly and easily. No, probably not, right? If that makes you feel better, right? This is that poem, right? The thing we're afraid of is, what if we are? Right? So I say that to you because maybe, you know?
Who knows?
Who knows? But maybe you're a master and you're just getting started.
I will say, when I was having my interview with my now agency, they were asking what concrete goals we have for the future. And I had sort of been thinking about this, but like never really voiced it out loud. And I said, I want to be on Broadway by the time I'm 30. And they didn't laugh. They didn't act as if that was an impossible dream or a naive goal. They looked at me and they nodded. And they like made a note of it.
Sure. Let's get to work.
That was the first time I've really voiced that goal of mine, much less had professionals receive that and take it seriously and believe that that is achievable.
So let's go back to places in the world we've been together.
Yeah.
The MJ show.
Yes.
The Michael Jackson show in New York City.
That was so good.
That was so good. And you were waiting outside to meet the star after the show. You were already kind of a New York aficionado. You knew the theaters.
I had been to New York twice.
Yeah. And now, maybe you're the one that people wait to see.
Can I share an experience I had?
Let's go.
at the end of one of the performances of Alice by Heart, I am always the last one out of the theater. That's been a recurring thing since forever. I was getting ready to pack up, and our stage manager, Kaitlin, comes up to me and she goes, "There's some people waiting to talk to you." And I was like, "Oh, that's my family. They're here." And she goes, "No, they're not." It happened to be the night that my cousins and aunts flew in from around the country to come see my show. And that night, as I went out into the lobby to meet them, there was a group of 5 or 6 high school students who were waiting to talk to me.
Not related.
Not related, never seen
So
them before.
you thought probably the ones that flew in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a group of, I think, 5 high school students from Indiana, I think. And presumably one of their fathers chaperoning. They drove in like a couple hours of drive to see our show. And they wanted to talk to me.
You in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just got flashbacks of when I was in high school, and I saw like a storefront show in the Twin Cities, and I waited around so I could get my picture taken with the actors, get their autographs, talk to them for a little bit.
Giddy, starry-eyed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I cried.
Now those big eyes are looking at you.
And I cried in front of these children. I said, "This is crazy." I said, "Never. If this is where you want to be, this is extraordinarily attainable, and you can do it." And I was where you were not long ago at all. It feels like yesterday. And the fact that high schoolers wanted their picture taken with me was insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
Influence is wild. You don't know. Right? You didn't know that was happening while you were performing. You didn't know how you were affecting these people. And then when you sit and talk with them, right, like you have a status that you don't understand in their eyes. Right? And there's a place to preach. There's a place to be of influence.
Yeah.
And to cause them to mirror, you set the tone in that situation. And the words that you say will be echoing in somebody's brain. They don't forget.
Which is crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yes. It's a shift to think about being on the other end of influence. And there's an important responsibility there. It's taken me a while to, shoulder that role, because you always think you're the kid.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I still feel like the kid who auditioned for Ithaca in New York and was just like, they didn't accept me, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
You're the kid who drew yourself singing in front of the red curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be the voice that advocates for you to stay that kid, but remember, people are watching, and you've got opportunities.
I want to do the most that I can with those. I want to, I don't know, be good, do good.
Well, you'll have opportunities, right? And as you have had opportunities. Looking at the clock, hour 45. We've been talking. Right? Time is funny. So I feel like we should probably find a way to stop.
Yeah. I mean, I could talk to you for the rest of the day.
Same.
Week, month, year.
What else should we say? Closing thoughts.
I really like not your concept, but the concept that you really put in front of me is the concept of manna. And God giving you exactly what you need at exactly the right time. You can't hoard it, but there will always be more.
You know, those are words that I have said, exactly those words.
I know, because I wrote those words down and committed them to memory.
So this is exactly what I'm talking about, where influence, is wild because it echoes in your mind. Mm-hmm. Here's some new words for you, and I think maybe the theme of this episode: your playing small does not serve the world. And that's for our readers too. Mm-hmm. You figure out, learn from Mizha. Try to figure out what you're good at, even if you don't have to judge whether that's a good thing or not. Just pay attention. Mm-hmm. Pay attention to.
And you never know what just doing what makes you happy might lead to. You never know what paying attention to your skill set might lead to.
There are boundaries on that sentiment.
Yeah, there's boundaries on mostly all sentiments.
Yeah. Well, I think we have successfully tread a narrow line here and spoken honestly. I really appreciate you giving time and attention to this conversation.
You having me. When you asked me to be on this, I'm like, why? but like, this is just like any excuse to have this kind of conversation with you, I will take. Right. There are readers at home also participating in the conversation. That's great too, but I just like talking to you.
All right.
And this trip back home here has been a lot of manna for me. This very much included.
Gobbling it up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Nom, nom, nom. Well, I think we've reached nom nom stage, so that's about it. Thanks everybody for joining us for this episode of Whistle the Feast. Thanks especially to our dear, dear friend, Mizha Overn.
Thank you so much for having me. Really, really, honestly means the world to me.
And that concludes this episode of Whistle the Feast. We hope you enjoyed being a part of the conversation as much as we did. Whistle the Feast would not be possible without all the creative people and spaces at Bethany Lutheran College. And you can head on over to blc.edu to learn more about the college or schedule a visit. If you have thoughts, questions, or feedback, we'd love to hear from you. You can actually send any feedback about the show to feastreaders@gmail.com. And hey, if you've got a project you'd like to promote, we'd love to support it. Just send your details our way. A huge shout out to the wonderful people in our Bethany community for sharing their thoughts with us, and our producer Jaksyn Graham for managing the edits. And with that, I'm Nora Kratz alongside Jason Jaspersen, and we want to thank everyone who tuned into this episode of Whistle the Feast. Until next time.
Get curious, be of good service, and discover what God has given you.